Hey there and welcome back to Mass Effect 2. My name is Pete and today we complete another episode of our Mass Effect 2 Insanity walkthrough. Today we complete Mordin's loyalty mission right here on Tuchanka. We already took a quick tour of the Urdnot camp in the last episode. We had a rather lengthy talk with our former squad member Rex, who is currently the leader of Clan Urdnot, and we also did some shopping and pit fighting. Now today we are looking for Mordin's former protege Maelon, a Salarian who helped Mordin on the Genophage modification project, but unfortunately it seems like he has gotten himself captured. Now the chief scout here is the Krogan who will eventually point us in the right direction, but before we talk to him we can quickly grab ourselves another small side quest.
Place your bet on the pits, human. We won't regret it. Don't touch anything.
And for this side quest, we want to talk to the mechanic over here.
Do I look like I have time to talk? I've got work to do. Those fools brought this Tomka back from a skirmish without its combustion manifold. They say it got shot off in the field. You tell me, how can you expect a Tomka to run without a combustion manifold?
Now, we could accept the quest right away with the option on the right here, but let's learn a bit more about what we're actually looking for.
Any idea where I could find a combustion manifold?
Yeah, I can make one. Give me 3 days and a barrel of Grincol. The one they lost is probably still out in the field. It's too much to expect them to collect it and bring the damn thing back.
I'm going out into the field. If I see a combustion manifold, I'll bring it back with me.
If you did, it would save me a lot of work. Maybe bring back my sunny disposition.
Now, it is very important to accept this quest before heading out, otherwise you won't be able to complete it, and just for good measure here, we'll also allow him to tell us a bit more about himself.
I've never seen a Krogan mechanic before.
What? You think we kidnap Quarians and make them do the hard work? Not anymore, we don't.
Let me get out of your way.
Don't do me any favors.
Alright, that's it, quest acquired. Let us now quickly head into the room over here on the other side. Now, apart from a grunting Krogan, we can see here resting on a table the Varren Urs.
He fought well. Soon he'll fight again.
Cellular regeneration on schedule. Krogans hit by Genophage, nuclear assaults, civil wars. Still survive.
Yeah, no thanks to you. Or anyone else.
Impressive to see life adapt, continue despite circumstances. Inspiring.
So yes, as many of you have pointed out in the comments of the last episode, Urs does not actually die when he loses in the pit fights. Instead, after a short recovery period, he will be good to go again.
These things would last longer if they didn't hit every crater.
The pits have been a bloodbath ever since Urs's handler was exiled.
So here we are now, back where we started just a few moments ago, and now we can ask the chief scout where our missing Salarian might be.
What do you want, human? Rex told me to be polite. He didn't say you were going to talk to me.
I'm looking for a Salarian. The Blood Pack captured him and he was last seen around here.
I heard about that Salarian. Poor bastard. If it's Blood Pack, then Clan Weyrloc has him. Sent one of my scouts to check it out, but he never reported back. Guess they got him, too. Chief told me to give you one of the trucks. Just follow the highway to Weyrloc's base, if you've got the quads to deal with him in the Blood Pack.
Right, so as always, we'll ask a few questions here to prepare us a bit better for what lies ahead.
What's Clan Weyrloc's reputation, and how are they involved with the Blood Pack?
Tough humps, and they're not friendly like we are. You ever run into the Blood Pack? Mercenary gang. Clan Weyrloc started it, one of the only gangs with an off-world presence. They're fanatics, totally devoted to Weyrloc Guld. Whatever they did with your Salarian, Guld's behind it.
But the Blood Pack has non-Krogan members, like Vorcha.
Ha! The Vorcha. They're just like the Varren, only they can use guns and don't crap on the floor as often. The Krogan are the only real members of the Blood Pack. Anyone else is just there to soak enemy fire.
What makes Guld so special?
He's got 2 children. One of them is a girl. Some people think he's got a destiny. Not me. I had a cousin who won 20 consecutive games of Quasar. Lucky bastard. I'd ask my cousin for a loan, but I wouldn't swear allegiance to him. Luck. That's all it is. Same for Guld.
What can you tell me about Clan Weyrloc's base?
Last I heard, the clan was holed up in an old hospital. I haven't seen it, though. I've only seen Clan Weyrloc from a distance. If I'd gotten closer, I'd have taken a shot. You get inside, though, bring a big gun. Weyrloc's base is crawling with Bloodpack.
That doesn't sound too defensible. Why'd they hole up there?
Any hospital on Tuchanka has to be built well enough to withstand a bunch of enraged Krogan. When an injury forces us to switch over to secondary organs, things get messy. Higher thought processes don't always transition properly. Blood rage, they call it.
Any idea what they're doing with the Salarian?
I assume they wanted to torture him. You don't take somebody home just to kill them. It's messy. Maybe he pissed off the blood pack, and they brought him here for special treatment. No skin off my hump what they'd do with him. One less alien on Tuchanka.
You don't seem to have much love lost for aliens.
Don't get your quads in a twist. If I was gonna kill you, you'd know it. Rex believes we need to unite the Krogan people. I don't think we can do that with off-worlders interfering, but it's not my call.
Right, so that's it already. We want to keep in mind here that he mentioned that one of his own scouts also went missing. So let's take the truck right here, begin the mission, and keep an eye out. So, Mordin is of course a given, and Grunt actually works very nicely as a second squad member for this mission, so we'll take him along as well. Just like in the last episode, we won't spend any squad points with either one of them. We will, however, make a small and definitely not necessary change to Shepard's weapon loadout. And we will switch back from the arc projector to the missile launcher, simply because the arc projector won't do as much good against armored enemies, like Krogan for example. And here we are, let's activate Inferno ammo on Shepard and Rex and then go through the door here, which will soon lead us into the first firefight. Our first enemies here are a pair of Klixen, and we have actually fought those before in much foggier conditions. Today we have a clear line of sight and some cover to hide behind, so the first group here is easily defeated. Now, throughout the first part of this mission, we want to keep a bit of an eye on our ammunition, however, because there will be quite a bit of fighting and ammo drops will be rather rare. There is also only a single crate of power cells available throughout the entire mission, and that one is only available right near the end of the mission, so we will have to wait for a while for a full ammunition refill. As you know, enemies from time to time drop ammunition, but of course Varren and Klixen do not, all the while they take a decent amount of firepower to take down. Now, at this point, we want to switch over to our trusty sniper rifle because we have Bloodpack Vorcha up ahead. Both of them have rocket launchers and should therefore be disposed of quickly, and the sniper is an excellent tool for the job. Once they're down, we can continue and catch our breath for a moment, but of course we will keep our sniper rifle out as we advance up onto the highway here. At the top we have more Bloodpack waiting for us, and again being quick with our takedowns is very beneficial, because this is the first group that also has a Krogan among them. He is just a regular Bloodpack warrior, but like all Krogan do, he likes to get up close and personal, and because of that we want to be able to give him our full attention and not have to keep an eye out on any Vorcha nearby. Again, we can have our squad members do a bit of work as well. The fighting is far from over and we have to conserve some ammunition. By the way, this is one of those missions where, at least for the first part, enemy variety is actually pretty good. Over the span of about 2 minutes or so, we already had Klixen, Vorcha rocket troopers, Krogan and Varren, all of them demanding a slightly different combat approach, and if you have been following this series for the first 53 episodes, then you know that far from all missions are created this way. For example, just a few moments ago, we could methodically snipe away the Vorcha and then focus on the Krogan. This time, however, we have to be much more aggressive because instead of Vorcha, we have Varren to deal with. This takes our attention off of the Krogan, at least for a few moments, but in the end we emerge victorious, as always.
Right behind you. Yeah.
As we move on, we want to grab the medkit over here and then switch back to the sniper rifle, because for this next fight it is very much advised to keep our distance. Over here in the distance we have a Bloodpack Pyro with a flamethrower, and that is certainly not an enemy that we want to get into close quarters combat with. Once the first Pyro is taken out, we can quickly grab the Iridium on the side here, but we are far from done yet, because in the meantime a second one has started approaching. He is taken out just as swiftly as the first one, but we are still not in the clear. 2 more Pyros are hiding behind the corner here, so let's try to take them out from afar as well. Now, with the last Pyro breakdancing and eventually dying on the floor here, we're now entering the last portion of combat in this outside section of the mission, and this one is once again best approached from a distance. The Urdnot clan chief scout already told us that hospitals on Tuchanka need to be very defensible, and this right here is a good example of what he meant, as stepping into that middle plaza in front of the hospital would see us surrounded by enemies from multiple sides, all behind cover, so we're going to thin out their numbers first before we move in closer. Once they're all down, we can then also get our hands on the Combustion Manifold that the Krogan mechanic was looking for, and now all that is left to do is to collect some ammunition and then enter the hospital.
Repurposed Krogan hospital. Sturdy, built to withstand punishment. That body, human. Need to take a look. Sores, tumors, ligatures showing restraint at wrists and ankles, track marks for repeated injection sites. Test subject, victim of experimentation.
Now, somewhat contrary to the usual dialogue logic in this game, we can only choose one of the 3 dialogue options here and then the conversation will continue. And I think the most pressing question at the moment is why we're suddenly running into human test subjects.
They're trying to cure the Genophage. Why experiment on non-Krogan?
Humans useful as test subjects, genetically diverse, enables exploration of treatment modalities.
Experimenting on humans? That kind of crap is what makes Cerberus start to seem like a good idea.
Never used humans myself. Disgusting, unethical, sloppy. Used by brute force researchers, not thinkers. No place in proper science. Krogan use of humans, unsurprising.
I imagine you had to do some live subject testing while developing the new Genophage.
No, unnecessary. Limited tests to simulations, corpses, cloned tissue samples. High-level tests on Varren. No tests on species with members capable of calculus. Simple rule, never broke it.
Now, since we have Mordin with us, we can probably learn a bit more about the experiments performed here, and as morbid as it sounds, maybe also about the uses of different kinds of test subjects.
How are humans more genetically diverse?
More variable. Peaks and valleys, mutations, adaptations, far beyond other life. Makes humans useful test subjects. Larger reactions to smaller stimuli.
I know we can look much different from each other, but Asari have a wide range of skin tones.
No, ignore superficial appearance, down to genetic code. Biotic abilities, intelligence levels. Can look at random Asari, Krogan, make reasonable guess. Humans, too variable to judge. Outliers in all species, of course. Geniuses, idiots. But human probability curve offers greater overall variety.
Wouldn't something native to Tuchanka work better? Varren, maybe?
Yes, human experiments strictly high-level, concept testing. Native Tuchanka fauna likely used later in development stages. Wise to delay use of Varren until necessary. Powerful bite.
What can you tell about their experiments from looking at the body?
Position of tumors suggests deliberate mutation of adrenal, pineal glands, modifying hormone levels, counterattack on glands hit by genophage. Clever.
Do you think they're close to curing the genophage?
Can't say. Need more data. Conceptually sound, though. Genophage alters hormone levels, could repair damage with hormonal counterattack.
Alright, now we're wrapping up this conversation with 2 quick Paragon points, vowing to stop whoever is responsible.
Now we've got 2 reasons to shut this place down.
Focus on Maelon. Too late to help the dead.
Okay, so on we go. At this point we also want to switch over to the sniper rifle again. Before we then turn the corner, grab the iridium on the floor here, and then go through the door on the other side.
I am the speaker for Clan Weyrloc, Offworlders. You have shed our blood. By rights, you should be dead already. But Weyrloc Guld, the Chief of Chiefs, has ordered that you be given leave to flee and spread the message of our coming.
So no combat just yet, but looking at the situation, it is likely that bullets are going to fly sooner or later. For now, though, we can grab ourselves 2 renegade points and inform him how we made our way this far.
If I flee, I might trip over the dozen Krogan I killed to get here. I think I'll take my chances.
You killed our youngest and weakest human. They were not worthy of remaining near our glorious work. Inside, you will find only hardened, blood-packed veterans, tempered by savagery and war, and dedicated to one goal. The Salarian will cure the Genophage, and Clan Weyrloc will spread across the galaxy in a sea of blood.
Appears they discovered Maelon's work. Unfortunate.
Now we're switching over to the Paragon Diplomacy route, with 2 dialogue choices that will give us 2 Paragon points each.
It doesn't have to happen like this. I can understand wanting to cure the genophage.
No, human, you understand nothing! You have not seen the piles of children that never lived. The Krogan were wronged. We will make it right, and then we will have our revenge!
It is very important, by the way, to keep the Krogan talking for as long as possible. You'll see why in just a second.
Half the galaxy sees the Krogan as victims. If you start a war, you'll lose their support.
We have the Blood Pack, and we have the Salarian. When our clan numbers in the millions, we will not need support. When we cure the Genophage, Weyrloc Guld will rule all Krogan. The Krogan rebellions will
You talk too much.
See? The human cannot hit a simple target.
They've seen us.
Alright, here we are now after what is in my opinion one of the most rewarding renegade interruptions in the entire game. The Weyrloc clan speaker has already been eliminated, but now we have to deal with the rest of his soldiers. Those consist of several Bloodpack Vorcha and also a few Krogan named here Weyrloc clan guards, but as far as I know their name is really the only thing that separates them from the regular Bloodpack Krogan that we usually encounter. They don't have any special weapons or abilities and their health and armor values seem to be about the same. Still, in this fight our enemies unfortunately have the high ground, although the Krogan seem to be very keen on giving that up as soon as possible. So some tactical repositioning will probably have to happen throughout this fight, but if the Vorcha are taken out quickly and the Krogan are not allowed to come too close, the fight should be manageable.
I got it.
Not a problem.
Once the fight is won, we can grab another iridium crate on the floor here, as well as 100 credits from a medical station on the wall, before we then make our way upstairs. Here we also find some much needed ammunition, and now we're about to enter the labs.
Labs likely through there. Can smell antiseptic, hint of dead flesh.
Just get us there.
Through the door here we are now in fact entering the labs, and we are starting off on the right by salvaging 3000 credits worth of circuit boards, before grabbing yet another crate of iridium and then accessing a computer terminal.
Active console may contain useful data. One moment. Genetic sequences. Hormone mutagens is still steady. Protein chains, live tissue, clone tissue. Very thorough. Standard treatment vectors. Avoiding scorched earth immunosuppressants to alter hormone levels. Good. Hate to see that.
Once again, we can now ask a few questions. This time, however, they are a bit more personal in nature, dealing mostly with Mordin's work on the Genophage and also with certain ethical aspects.
Most people wouldn't be so casual about developing a sterility plague, Mordin.
Not developing, modifying, much more difficult, working within confines of existing genophage, 100 times the complexity. Errors unacceptable, could cause total sterility, malignant tumors, could even reduce effectiveness, worse than doing nothing. Had to keep Krogan population stable, 1 in 1,000, perfect target, optimal growth. Like gardening.
Pretty it up however you like. You're talking about murdering millions.
No, murdered no one. Altered fertility, prevented fetal development of nervous system. Have killed many, Shepard. Many methods. Gunfire, knives, drugs, tech attacks. Once with farming equipment, but not with medicine.
You're saying you were working just as hard to keep their population from falling?
Yes, could have eradicated Krogan. Not difficult. Increased mutation to degrade genetic structure further. Chose not to. Rachni extinction tragic. Didn't want to repeat. All life precious. Universe demands diversity.
How can you agree with using the genophage, Mordin? Look at what happened to Tuchanka as a result.
State of Tuchanka not due to genophage. Nuclear winter caused by Krogan before Salarians made first contact. Krogan choices. Refuse truce during Krogan rebellions. Expand after Rachni wars. Splinter after genophage. Genophage medical, not nuclear. No craters from virus. Damage caused by Krogan, not Salarians, not me.
The effects on Tuchanka are still your responsibility. You upgraded the virus that kept them in barbarism.
Krogan committed war crimes, refused to negotiate. Turian defeat not complete. Krogan could have recovered, attacked again. Conventional war too risky. Krogan forces too strong. Genophage was only option. Krogan forced genophage, us or them. No apologies for winning. Wouldn't have minded peaceful solution.
So if the Krogan banded together and formed a united government, you'd welcome that?
Yes, United Krogan saved Galaxy, destroyed Rachni. Genophage not punishment, simply alters fertility to correct for removal from hostile environment.
What was it like working on the genophage modification project?
Best years of my life. Wake up with ideas, talk over breakfast, experiments all morning. Statistical analysis in afternoon, run new simulations during dinner, set data runs to cook overnight. Laughter, ego, argument, passion, Galaxy's biggest problem, massive resources thrown at us. Got anything we wanted.
Do you keep in touch with your old team members?
No. All changed with deployment. Made test drop on isolated Krogan clan, hit rest of Tuchanka when results were positive. End of project. Separate ways. Watching it end, watching birth rates drop. Personal. Private. Not appropriate for team.
Sounds like you were pretty important. How'd you go from that to running a clinic on Omega?
Wanted to heal people. Good use of last decade. Something easy. No ethical concerns. Understand rationale for modified genophage, right choice. Still, hard to sleep some nights.
Alright, so we have finally asked all we can. Let's keep moving.
We're not gonna find Maelon staring at consoles. Come on.
Our next conversation is right around the corner, however, as we find the body of a dead Krogan here.
Dead Krogan, female. Tumors indicate experimentation. No restraint marks. Volunteer. Sterile Weyrloc female willing to risk procedures. Hoped for cure. Pointless. Pointless waste of life.
And yes, it does indeed seem a bit strange that after all of his involvement with the genophage, Mordin still seems bothered by this dead Krogan female.
I didn't expect you to be disturbed by the sight of a dead Krogan.
What? Why? Because of genophage work? Irrelevant. No. Causative. Never experimented on live Krogan. Never killed with medicine. Her death not my work. Only reaction to it. Goal was to stabilize population. Never wanted this. Can see it logically. But still unnecessary. Foolish. Waste of life. Hate to see it.
Now, despite his disgust for what he sees, it appears it is not the first time, even though, of course, Mordin's work on the genophage modification should already be a thing of the past.
I didn't think you'd had much direct contact with things like this. Did you come to Tuchanka after dropping your plague?
Yearly recon missions. Water, tissue samples. Ensure no mistakes. Superiors offered to carry it on. Refused. Need to see it in person. Need to look. Need to see. Accepted as necessary. See small picture. Remind myself why I run a clinic on Omega. Rest. young mother. Find your gods. Find someplace better.
Now, we could obtain 2 renegade points here with the option at the bottom right, but that would prevent us from listening to a rather insightful bit of dialogue, so we'll instead go with the option on the top left.
I didn't expect spirituality from you, Mordin.
Genophage modification project altered millions of lives, then saw results. Ego, humility, juxtaposition, frailty of life, size of universe. Explored religions after work completed. Different races. No answers. Many questions.
Sounds like you were trying to deal with your guilty conscience. The doctor who killed millions.
Modified Genophage project great in scope, scientifically brilliant, but ethically difficult. Krogan reaction visceral, tragic, not guilty, but responsible. Trained as doctor, Genophage affects fertility, doesn't kill, still caused this. Hard to see big picture behind pile of corpses.
Can you really just rationalize it all away? How do you justify it?
Wheel of life. Popular Salarian concept. Similar to human Hinduism in focus on reincarnation. Appealing to see life as endless. Fix mistakes in next life. Learn, adapt, improve. Refuse to believe life ends here. Too wasteful. Have more to offer. Mistakes to fix. Cannot end here. Could do so much more.
Now, here we could now grab 2 Paragon points, but this would also shorten the conversation a bit, so instead we'll pick the Renegade option, but don't worry, the amount of morality points we'll leave with will be the same.
Enough about your spiritual life. Anything useful on the body?
Minimal insight into experiments. Gene therapy. Risking cancer aiming for benign mutation. Krogan research is ruthless. Risking own clan's women for new data. Disgusting. Short-sighted. Wrong.
Here we now have a Paragon option that we would have not received had we gone Paragon earlier, and of course we'll take it and with that make a more or less convincing counter-argument.
Infecting the entire species with the sterility plague isn't much better in my book.
Had to be done. Bracknai wars, Krogan rebellions all pointed to Krogan aggression. So many simulations. Effects of Krogan population increase. All pointed to war. Extinction. Genophage or genocide. Save galaxy from Krogan. Save Krogan from galaxy.
Now, the 2 options on the left here are not mutually exclusive and they also don't give morality points, so we'll explore them both before moving on.
So you're willing to sterilize a species based on the evidence of a few simulations?
Yes, millions of data points, years of arguments, countless scenarios, all noted Krogan fragmentation as dangerous, no unified culture to support repopulation. Would have been war, Turians and humans destroying Krogan utterly. Genophage was better. Saved lives.
You could have cured the Genophage instead. Brought hope to the Krogan. They'd have rejoiced.
Assumes human reaction. Krogan stimulus response different. Harsh environment. Take chance to fight. Flee. Would have caused chaos in Tuchanka. Victor would have war economy. Bloodthirsty army. Galactic expansion only logical outcome. More war. Genophage saved lives. War would have ended.
Right, so final morality choice of this conversation, and of course we're going Paragon again, bringing our total up to 2 Renegade and 4 Paragon points.
Look at the dead woman, Mordin. It doesn't look like you saved her.
No, it doesn't. Worked with available data. Only option. No other possible. Doesn't matter.
Okay, looks like Mordin's resolve is starting to crack a bit. We'll see whether or not he eventually changes his mind. For now though, we have to move on, but not before hacking the terminal over here for a very useful upgrade.
We can use this.
We then proceed through the door and into the next area, and here we want to make sure to open the door on the right first. Inside we find a Krogan, but for a change not a hostile one, so let's see what's up with him.
You killed the Bloodpack guards.
Not Bloodpack, not member of Clan Weyrloc. Wrong clan markings.
I'm an Urdnot scout. Weyrloc guards got me. Brought me here.
Right, so this is in fact the guy the Chief Scout is missing. Let's inform him that we came looking for him to earn ourselves the first 2 Paragon points of the conversation.
The Chief Scout told us to watch for you. We've taken out the guards. Get back to Urdnot.
I can't. The Weyrloc did things to me. Drugs. Injections. Said I was sacrificing for the good of all Krogan. Experiments to cure the Genophage. Everything's blurry. Hard to think. Have to stay.
Okay, looks like he has undergone tests, maybe even more than that. In any case, we can grab 2 more Paragon points by asking Mordin for help.
Mordin, can you get him back on his feet? Stims, maybe? Something to bolster his immune system?
You don't understand. I'm not too sick to leave. I have to stay. They're curing the Genophage. They're gonna make it all better. They have to keep doing the tests.
Caution, Shepard. Patient unstable, susceptible, brainwashed.
Once again now, we want to express our desire to help the Krogan, which will then once more result in additional Paragon points.
Why do you want them to keep doing the tests?
This is my fault. I got caught. Wasn't strong enough. Not good enough. This is the best I can do. This is all I can do. I'm not big enough to have a real shot with the females. I'll never have kids of my own. But if I help undo the Genophage, then I mattered.
Alright, now every option here except for the lie will eventually result in the Krogan seeing reason, but for maximum Paragon points we want to go with the charm option here, which will coincidentally also resolve things a little quicker than the options on the right.
Millions of children will be born. Weyrloc children. They're going to destroy the other clans.
But... No. No, they said I was helping Urdnot.
If you want to help Urdnot, you need to get back there. But it would take a real badass to make it back to camp while injured.
I can do it.
You? I said a badass, not some scout whining like a Quarian with a tummy ache.
I can do it. I'm up. And I'm going to the female camp.
Damn right you are. Get back there and show them what you're worth. Go. Go!
Nicely done. Fortunately, subject is unlikely to be contagious.
Alright, Krogan freed, we'll make sure to talk to the Chief Scout once we return. We already received the 40 experience points for completing the assignment right here and now, and we can also help ourselves to 1,500 credits by hacking the datapad over here. Then it's time to continue, but not before Edie has some interesting information for us.
Shepard, I'm detecting crates ahead that are holding unstable materials. A misplaced shot could cause a significant explosion.
Or a well-placed shot. Explosives useful. Burn through Krogan armor.
And indeed, explosives will come into play here, as the 2 Bloodpack troopers ahead of us have not noticed us yet, so let's open things up here with a pair of rockets. This takes down one of the Vorcha right away, unfortunately though it doesn't even hurt the second one, despite the fact that both of them were standing very close together. A sniper shot then quickly gets rid of him, and now it's high time to focus on the Krogan approaching from the other side, who is conveniently enough standing right next to one of those explosive crates Edie mentioned earlier. All in all though, I have to admit, those crates are probably not as useful as they first sound. With the damage we are dealing at this point in the game, I feel like our shots are better used if they're aimed directly at the target. The amount of damage a crate inflicts when it explodes is really not that large. We can also somewhat liberally use the rocket launcher against these Krogan here. As I mentioned earlier, there is one single power cell crate in this mission that will restock our heavy weapon ammo, and it is thankfully coming up in just a few moments. Now, before we proceed on the path the Krogan took to get to us, we want to go for the circuit boards here, which we can salvage for 4,500 credits. I believe that is the single biggest money drop in this mission. Apart from some ammunition that the Krogan dropped, there is also a medical station on the wall on the other side, but nothing else to the left over here. With the credits in hand, we can now prepare for one more round of combat, and this time we have to react quickly because not 1, not 2, but 3 Varren are rushing in, followed then of course by another Krogan Bloodpack warrior. And against the Varren, blowing up an explosive crate is slightly more useful. They are of course much more fragile than their Krogan companions. Once all 4 enemies are down, we can then in fact go for the power cells near the stairs and refill both our regular and heavy weapon ammo. The room on the side here, where both the Krogan and the Varren came from, does not hold anything else, so at this point we can proceed downstairs and switch back over to the sniper rifle.
Incoming.
The first group of enemies is a pair of Krogan approaching us head-on, but if we quickly hop behind cover, they do not pose too much of a threat. Now things are getting a little more interesting, however, as from the door on the other side we see another pack of Varren emerge, followed by 2 more Krogan, who themselves have also brought additional backup. And not just any kind of backup, Chief Guld, leader of Clan Weyrloc himself, has now joined the fight, and he is without question the toughest enemy in this mission. His appearance also indicates that we are getting closer to the end, but at least for the moment he is still standing between us and the completion of this mission. With both barrier and armor, I don't think I have to mention that he is a tough nut to crack. He can also use warp to do additional damage, but if you're quick and eliminate all other Krogan first before he can get into shotgun range, then Guld on his own remains a fairly manageable opponent. Now, once he's down, we want to first head for that closed door on our side of the walkway, because behind it there is a small storage room with a locked crate which we can bypass for 3000 credits. Our way onwards then lies straight ahead of us. There is nothing else to loot in this area, and even though we could probably collect a few more bits of ammo here and there, that will luckily not be necessary as we have just finished the last firefight of this mission. All that is left to do now is to find Mordin's former protege Maelon, and of course hack the research terminal over here for another heavy weapon ammo upgrade.
This is valuable.
Behind the next door, however, lies the grand finale of this mission.
Maelon, alive, unharmed. No signs of restraint, no evidence of torture. Don't understand.
For such a smart man, Professor, you always had trouble seeing evidence that disagreed with your preconceptions. How long will it take you to admit that I'm here because I wish to be here?
And we start things off with 2 Paragon points and the observation that Maelon appears to be here by choice.
He wasn't kidnapped. He came here voluntarily to cure the Genophage.
Impossible. Whole team agreed. Project necessary.
How was I supposed to disagree with the great Dr. Solus? I was your student! I looked up to you!
Experiments performed here. Live subjects, prisoners, torture and executions. You're doing?
We've already got the blood of millions on our hands, Doctor. If it takes a bit more to put things right, I can deal with that.
Alright, 4 questions to ask. All of them will provide us with valuable insights, although they will also once again challenge Mordin's points of view.
Why work with Clan Weyrloc? And how did you access the Genophage data?
The data was easy to obtain. We all still had clearance. We were heroes. All I had to do was ask. As for the Weyrloc, they were the only clan with both the resources and the commitment.
Urdnot has a larger camp than Weyrloc. Why not use them?
Urdnot Rex is too soft. He wasn't willing to do the experiments I needed. It's Urdnot's loss and Weyrloc's gain. Their clan will be the first to recover from the crime we committed.
You honestly think the experiments you did here are justified?
We committed cultural genocide. Nothing I do will ever be justified. The experiments are monstrous because I was taught to be a monster.
Mordin, did you ever perform experiments like this?
No. Never taught you this, Maelon.
So your hands are clean. What does it matter if the ground is stained with the blood of millions? You taught me that the end justified the means. I will undo what we did, Professor. The only way I know how.
You talked about killing, but the Genophage isn't lethal. It only affects fertility rates.
Krogan fight over fertile females. They become mercenaries or pirates because they see no alternative. They would be thriving in a cultural renaissance now had we not decided that this is what they deserved.
Inaccurate. Krogan population resulted in war. Simulations were clear.
What happens if the Genophage is cured and the Krogan expand again? That'll be on your head.
We justified this atrocity by saying the Krogan would cause havoc and war if their population recovered. But look at the galaxy. Batarian attacks in the Traverse, Geth attacks in the Citadel. Is this a more peaceful universe? The assault on your Eden Prime might never have happened if we had let the Krogan recover. We'll never know.
How would a Krogan population explosion have done anything to stop Saren and the Geth?
An increased Krogan population would have forced the Council to take steps, likely involving colony rights in the Traverse. The Turian fleets would be vigilant for any military activity in the area. They might have stopped the Geth at Eden Prime.
Supposition. Impossible to be certain.
Don't you see? We tried to play God and we failed. We only made things worse. And I'm going to fix it.
Alright, after learning quite a bit here, we can now put the decision into Mordin's hands. That will earn us 2 more Paragon points, although we will shortly have to intervene.
Maelon clearly doesn't need rescuing. What do you want to do?
Have to end this.
You can't face the truth, can you? Can't admit that your brilliant mind led you to commit an atrocity!
Unacceptable experiments. Unacceptable goals. Won't change. No choice. Have to kill you.
Wait, you don't need to do this, Mordin. You're not a murderer.
No, not a murderer. Thank you, Shepard. Finished, Maelon. Get out. No Weyrloc left. Project over.
So, the Paragon interruption here saves Maelon's life. The question now, however, is whether or not simply letting him go is the right choice.
Aren't you worried that he'll start his research again?
No. Locking this unit. Special task group can cut access to old data. Could start from scratch. Decades of work, though. Didn't teach you everything I knew.
What if he talks to more Krogan? Tells the public about the modified Genophage project?
Special tasks group good at covering tracks. No proof. Weyrloc willingness to work with Salarian, unusual. Other Krogan will kill him.
Alright, looks like making him leave is the only option we have here, so let's kick him out and hope he doesn't do any more damage.
You heard the professor. Get out before he changes his mind.
Where am I supposed to go, Professor?
Don't care. Try Omega. Can always use another clinic.
The Krogan didn't deserve what we did to them, Professor. The Genophage needs to end.
Not like this. Apologies, Commander. Misunderstood mission parameters. No kidnapping. My mistake. Thank you.
We will of course also ask Mordin how he's doing now, after seeing that his protege did not really follow his footsteps, and this will also once again earn us 2 Paragon points.
Don't worry about me, Mordin. How are you doing?
Should have killed him. Wanted to. Easier than listening. Easier for him too. Experiments indicate how far he's fallen. Expected it from Krogan. Not one of mine.
And yes, despite all that's happened, this might in fact be a good lesson for Mordin. He definitely seems a little shaken at the moment.
Maybe you'll remember that the next time you're discussing the ethics of the Genophage.
Yes. So many variables, stress responses, impossible to truly predict. Something to think about. Maelon's research, only loose end. Could destroy it. Closure, security. Still valuable though.
Now, for 2 more Paragon points, we will also comment on the perceived value of the research data here. The big decision on what to do with it, however, that will come in just a second.
This is the research that included tests on living victims. It's tainted.
Right now, victims died for nothing. Keep it, use it. Death's worth something. Maelon's work could cure Genophage. Don't know. Effects on Krogan, effects on Galaxy. Too many variables. Too many variables.
Alright, here we are now with 4 options, which basically boil down to 2 options. We could keep the data or destroy it. And keeping the data is the Paragon path that we will follow. Both dialogue options at the top here would give us 15 Paragon points, but as Mordin himself said just a moment ago, there are far too many variables to properly assess the value of the data at this point, so handing it right over to the Krogan might not be the best idea, despite our good friend Rex being their clan leader, so we'll keep it for ourselves for the time being. Maybe we'll need it in the future.
Keep the data. Better to have it and not need it.
Point taken, Shepard. Capturing data. Wiping local copy. Still years away from cure, but closer than starting from scratch. Done. Ready to go. Ready to be off to Chanka. Anywhere else. Maybe somewhere sunny.
Right, so at this point it is very important not to leave right away, because there is one small thing left to do here.
I'd like to look around a bit more.
We have already earned our 750 XP and 30 Paragon points, but before we go there is a wall computer here just waiting to be hacked, a computer that cannot be accessed in any other way before triggering the cutscene with Maelon, so this right here is the only way to obtain 3000 additional credits. That's all though, now we can finally complete this mission. And here we are now, Mordin's loyalty mission has been completed. Who knows what the data on a potential Genophage cure might be useful for, but keep in mind there is a 3rd game in this series, which occasionally builds on our choices made in this one. Now, as you just saw a moment ago, we earned 750 experience points for completing the mission, and with Mordin we also finally unlock the neural shock power, as well as, slightly less important, a brand new outfit. Thanks to the Krogan Vitality upgrade, we now also gain a 50% health upgrade for Grunt, while the heavy weapon ammo capacity upgrade is the second to last in the entire game, so only one more until we have completed the collection. 30,000 credits and 2,000 units of Iridium are then of course also a nice reward, and that's all. Time to wrap things up for today. And we do in fact not return straight to the Normandy, but simply to the shuttle on Tuchanka, which is where we will continue in the next episode with Grunt's loyalty mission. Until then, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, then I would be very happy if you could leave a thumbs up. If you want to support me and my channel further, then you can go ahead and subscribe to stay up to date, or maybe check out and pledge to the Pete Complete Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.